Hello and welcome to another episode of A Closer Look. Food security in Papua New Guinea is affected by global challenges like climate change and local factors like limited resourcing and poor infrastructural developments. We now take a closer look on how the Fresh Produce Development Agency is doing in their capacity to tackle food security in the country.
The Fresh Produce Development Agency, or FPDA, has noted that Papua New Guinea is not producing enough food for consumption. Currently, the urban population of the country depends mostly on imports from overseas and local produce, which is often supplied by the rural population. The rural population, who are dependent on local produce, are often faced with challenges of proper markets to supply to urban areas, affecting the food chains and hence leads to the issue of food security. There are 4 major components to achieve food security. These were outlined by the Chief Executive Officer for FPDA, Mark Warinu. The 4 components are as follows: availability, accessibility, consumption, utilization, and stability. However, there are major challenges affecting the components, resulting in food insecurity.
If we don't address the food security issue in the country, we will have a country that will struggle a bit in future to support the growing and demanding population.
According to FPDA reports, the total food consumption by the estimated 10 to 15 million people of PNG is 7.7 million tons per year, where the total demand is 3.85 million tons of fruits and vegetables. Food consumption per person per day is 2.11 kg as per FAO data. The total food consumed by people are from imports, local production, and other food aids and food banks. In their report, they found out that Papua New Guinea spends a lot of money on importing food from overseas.
The industry is transitioning from subsistence to commercial space. And so in order to make it become more commercial and developed sector, there's a lot of work needed to be done in terms of establishing reliable production systems, in terms of post-harvest management and logistics, and aggregation of produce and distribution of produce.
To address the challenges outlined and help limit imports from overseas, FPDA has come up with strategic plans such as the Horticulture Industry Strategic Plan 2011 to 2023, aligning to the government policies PNG Food Security Policy 2016 to 2025 and the PNG Vision 2050 and MTDP4 to create food systems in the country.
We really want to ensure that there is a robust, reliable food chain system in the country, so that food that are being harvested in the communities or in the farm fields in various districts and provinces will have to arrive at the market in a timely manner.
However, the food systems in the country are again faced with its own challenges.
There are challenges there. There is no coordination or in terms of cold storage facilities in strategic locations. That is the area that we are trying to secure prime land. Critical investments will have to be built. Critical facilities will have to be built in those key areas so that we maintain the quality of the produce.
With all this faced, FPDA is encouraging partnership and collaboration in tackling the issues of food security. These partnerships can be international and local partnerships.
We are promoting various internationally funded projects, one of which is the Market for Village Farmers project, a loan obtained by the government of PNG. That's the investment to seeing the development of the horticulture industry in Papua New Guinea. In that project, that we would like to see that market is accessible, market is more closer to our farmers.
This partnership can provide trainings to help build the capacities of farmers and improve food productions working together.
We are building the capacity of the aggregators, the lead partners. Those lead partners play a key role in sourcing the produce from those farmers and aggregate them and able to sell to the different markets.
One successful partnership was seen recently with the British American Tobacco and FPDA. The British American Tobacco has supported FPDA with onion solar dryers to support the bulb onion projects being rolled out by FPDA.
So the British American Tobacco, BAT, is coming on board with a 1 million support package to develop 50 bulb onion solar dryers, and we will be selecting a number of spots in the islands and in coastal areas, looking at suitable land sites where we will have model farms. Farmers will be assembled to have the model farm established, and we will roll out those solar dryers.
Mr. Warinu stated that this will try help limit the import of bulb onions from overseas.
And we think that we're confident we will roll out this project effectively for the next 2 years. And we have strategies in place. Next 2 years we will try and minimize the volume of imports coming into the country.
Youths must also be involved in agriculture. Mr. Warinu said youths must take agriculture as a business, and there must also be programs embarking on youth participation in agriculture.
Farming has to be done by the educated lot. The young people are supposed to be passionately promoting agriculture in our communities, and so that they can understand and interpret the science and also understand economics and business and communicate effectively. Application of fertilizers, chemicals and technologies. Young people can do it a lot better and they can address the issue of food security in the country.
Addressing food security in the country is everyone's business and must not be ignored. Going forward, FPDA is seeking collaboration with districts and provinces to work together to address food security.
We will look at how we can align our programs with their programs or plans so that we work in partnership and they can contribute, we can also contribute, so that we share the resources, and at the same time, whatever we invest in the districts, they can take ownership. In that way, you would see that our expansion program in terms of food security programs in the country will be expanded in a big way.
Funding is a constraint in the horticulture industry. Mr. Warinu stated that if district can work with FPDA, it can help in allocating funds to roll out programs in all districts in the country.
That support has to come from, collective effort from the government institutions, and the government has to provide funding upfront to those institutions that are already in that space, promoting the development programs in supporting and ensuring that there's food security for the country.
The Fresh Produce Development Agency maintained that food security is very important and the government should pay a closer look at it. FPDA noted that if the government and relevant stakeholders, including the people, turn a blind eye on the issue, the government in the near future will start to budget for food, which is something the country is not doing right now.
We will go for a break and be back with more. Stay with us. Welcome back to A Closer Look. For the last 3 years, World Vision has carried out a youth project in Leh. This project is due to end this year, hence project coordinators have met with relevant stakeholders to seek approval for the project to continue. This project is funded by the European Union with youths from throughout Leh City participating.
A total of 1,250 lay youths who are not enrolled in any school and 782 students from 23 schools are participants of this project. The discussions last weekend saw members of the World Vision gave their feedback on the 3 years this project was rolled out in Leh City. The project is aimed at upskilling youths to minimize social behaviors and to respond to high levels of violence, targeting youths in and out of school as key groups vulnerable in engaging in violence. Chairman of the Project Advisory Committee, Demas Michael, explained the outcome of the project, saying that it is a success program and they have purposely held the discussions in Port Moresby recently to have relevant stakeholders and the government to support and continue to roll out this project. Being that this project has brought behavioral change to the mindset of youths and that they aim to continue to impact change in their communities.
Meeting one time all lain belum lalu European Union all co-founder la program laga meeting one time World Vision department we am local teams la especially said deal one time all community na all youth issues belum lo country mi laga meeting one time all naida tu na all respective all members belum lalu Mibla tok thank you lo mibla kaslo opportunity lo siran wantem member belum bla UN Gulf honorable Joseph Pita na Deputy Prime Minister belum bla honorable John Rosso mibla siran mibla meeting wantem all lo isla wiki kam na gubla feedback ol gilo mibla lo supporting la program lo sustaining na continue inside lo LP especially lo young lo bla. At least we give them some opportunity in life to engage in productive activities. Now can look out in lo time. So purpose plus la project em lo helping all young problem lo upskilling all. Give hope lo na give at least all got good lo future lo behind time.
There are 3 components to this project. Lay Livelihood Coordinator of World Vision, Benoni Masalo, gave the components of this project.
It's a very successful program. We have a very good model. So the project itself got 3 component. Component 1, I'm trying to down in school violence in school. So component 1, I'm work in partnership on the Division of Education lo Morobe. So in partnership on the Division of Education lo Morobe, we work particularly with them guidance and counseling division. So we maximum approval talk right. So we work one them all na we run him one curriculum, we call him respect curriculum. So we train him all guidance and counseling teachers lo curriculum, we call him respect curriculum, and then all guidance and counseling teachers will go back to one school lo no train him all sumatin, lo pass him lo respect na values. So aim lo this module lo time no down in violence. Leh City has been known for school fights. A lot of school fights Leh City have been come up. So we running this program. It's very effective, where students are taught on how to respect themselves and respect others. They learn about values. So it's a very good model. We are targeting on age group between 12 to 15. So that's the age group where they they are curious, they want to try new things. So the project is designed in a way that before they try new things, before they touch, homebrew and alcohol and all that, and the project is designed in such a way that we teach them those values quickly. So when we teach those values quickly, it will help to prevent them from doing those. And then it also helps to further reduce violence in school. So we now have a respect curriculum in all the 23 primary schools in Lay City, and we have trained 2 teachers each in all the 23 primary schools in Lay City. So there's a module there, and teachers are teaching the students. That's the component 1 of the program. Component 2 of the program, we are working with out-of-school youths. With the out-of-school youths, we are also trying to reduce violence, general violence in the communities. And the module that we are using is called Active Citizenship Module, or Active Citizenship Curriculum. So using that curriculum, we are training we've established 36 impact clubs all over Lay City. So all over Lay City, we call it youth clubs or impact clubs. So we identify at least 2 to 3 club leaders, people that can take lead to support youths. So we identify club leaders, and then we train them on active citizenship curriculum. We do a TOT, so we've done that already. So after doing the training, we get them to go back to the respective communities, and then they mobilize the youths. So far they have mobilized 40 youths in respective project sites in Lay City. So not project sites, but communities. So these club leaders, they go and they train the impact club leaders. They train the youths. And then after that, the module itself is designed in such a way to reduce crime, basically in terms of mindset change in that. After that, we get the youths to identify a particular need or a career path or what they want to do in life. So we ask them, what do you want to do in life? And then they say like, or how can they live in the communities? So they identify a skill. So next part of the component of the program is life skills training. So we get them to identify a need like sewing, carpentry, and welding, what they want to do. So we get them involved. We connect them with training institutions like Malahang Technical School, Joy Garments, St. Trees. These are partners that we have already worked with. So we get them through life skills training. After we get them to life skills training, then the other part of the project is we try to link them with business houses.
Masalo further elaborated on the project that they have worked and hope to get it rolled out again in the coming years with the support of European Union.
We've seen result, and during the week when we had a meeting with the partners, we've been presenting the result of the project. And we've asked the government to look into this, and if there is need for sustainability, the government should consider and support to maintain the system and the structure that we've already have in Lay City.
With Lay City having the second highest urban population with high social diversity and frequent inter-school fights and general violence in the streets and communities, World Vision came on board to facilitate this project since 2020.
We will go for a break and be back with more. Stay with us. Welcome back to A Closer Look. The National Volunteer Services of PNG recently welcomed its 19th batch of volunteers that have embarked on a 3-week-long training at the Goldie Barracks outside Port Moresby. The National Volunteer Service currently has agents serving in the fields of agriculture, health, and education in the country.
Now commence our program.
As well as a testament to one's compassion, the act of volunteerism, above all, inspires hope that has the power to ignite a ripple effect among humanity.
Communities, uplifts individuals, and creates lasting impact.
These were the words expressed by the National Volunteering Services Executive Director, Molly Willie, as she commended volunteers who had signed up with the service. The primary mandate of the PNG National Voluntary Services is to promote, encourage and instill the principles and values of volunteerism among skilled and professional Papua New Guineans, and for years now, since its inception, the service has been achieving to an extent this vision. Another agenda of the National Voluntary Service is to provide an alternative service delivery mechanism for government through the placement of volunteers within communities and civil society organizations at the cost that both the communities and the government can afford.
Of our important guests in front.
Chairman of the National Voluntary Service Council, Bernard Maladina, stressed that the work of this service goes in line with what important national policies like the Vision 2050, the Medium-Term Development Strategies, the National SME Policy and the WASH Policy, among others, aspires to attain.
Thank you for ushering our
While expressing the current state PNG as a country is in, the chairman emphasized that the volunteers can do better to help the country.
I totally believe that the decentralization process has failed the people of Papua New Guinea. But for us, the NVS, it's not for us to sit back and complain. We need to look at innovative ideas to work with the provinces.
Also appreciating the work and potential of the National Voluntary Service was the Governor for Central Province, Rufina Pita, who sees the work of volunteerism as a means to achieving the country's aspirations.
I am inclined to say that our aspirations to move the nation forward, the way to go forward is to deploy the deployment of volunteers to address some of our development aspirations, complementing the government service delivery mechanisms that already exist.
She expressed that with such extensive work on the ground with the people, the volunteers are at a better position to understand communities well than the public service machinery.
And you are such an important source of policies coming out of the actual needs that you see on the ground, informing provincial and national governments and policies and programs as well.
Expressing her interest to partner with the service in the near future for her province, the governor also added that the volunteers are in a better position to contribute to policy making as they would understand the need of the people.
I believe our own National Volunteer Service need to be given more prominence in the delivery of services aligned with our overarching development plans and policies.
As such, the National Voluntary Services of PNG provides the needed assistance to rural communities. It also supports its volunteers reach their full potential in their fields of expertise. One such volunteer is Komnin Songa from the service's 18th batch from 2021, who was instrumental in bringing about the locally owned Alang Doam Coffee Cooperative Society, consisting of a total of 1,185 member household coffee farmers from the Tewa, Siasi and Kabum districts. After a partnership with Fairtrade in 2017, the coffee cooperative is now exporting green bean coffee to Germany, America, Australia and New Zealand, earning an estimated 1 million kina plus a year. Last month, the local producer sent a sample of his produce to Athens in Greece, a potential market for his cooperative.
National NVS kaman all supporting welfare lumi na sambla all something kind of disla now mi talking more mi bogolo kris all supporting na mi working disla product or supporting mi working disla label or give money na mi buy misla packet or supporting mi all assisting mi lo working misla work na all supporting mi lo sponsor lo mi lo working passport wonen lo la salimi gris disla wonen lo visa mi problem so mi no iko.
The PNG National Voluntary Service is a statutory body of the government established through an Act of Parliament 1990 that is under the care of the Minister of Community Development, Youth and Religion.
And this is where we end a closer look for this week. Do join us again next week for another episode. Until then, pleasant viewing and good night.